everyone? Welcome back to another Makeup Artist Monday. It's artistry like BAM. Alright guys, thanks so much for tuning back in this week. If you're new here, my name is Brandon. I'm a professional makeup artist here in Chicago. I'm here to teach you some tips and tricks about makeup. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, please subscribe down below and stay tuned for this video. So this week we're going to talk about Blush Baby. Alright, all things blush, and I have so many different fun blushes in front of me that I can't wait to talk to you about, so stay tuned. As a working makeup artist, I have the ability to play with so many fun cosmetics and blushes in my day-to-day work. So today I'm going to show you a lot of fun options and show you why I like them and how to use them. So first up, we're going to start with one of my mega palettes. This is something that I built a few years ago with the company Makeup Forever. I really love their formulas because they're really smooth, they're cruelty-free and vegan, and they have a really wide shade range. So I don't have all of the colors, but I do have a really large collection. So I'm going to show you guys really quickly what it looks like. So it looks just like this. So you can see that it is definitely well loved, very beat up after many uses. I absolutely love this palette. I take it all over the place with me. When I travel, most of my clients sanitize it really well, and then I can shave off blushes and use them for multiple different people. So these are really high pigmented and really beautiful. And you'll notice that I have them kind of in two different sides for two different reasons. So we're gonna start here at the top. This one is more of like a dusty rose. This one looks good on more of a fair to medium skin tones. If you would like to apply this with a lighter, fluffier brush, something like this is from Moda Cosmetics. This is a really fluffy, dense brush. Something really light like this will actually give you a really soft dusting of this, and this is a really beautiful shade as well. These are all numbered, so I'm not exactly sure what the shade numbers are, but you can kind of see what the shades are and then find something similar online. If you really do want to know a specific color, please leave me a comment down below because I'll be happy to answer that for you. So next we're going to move on to this one right here. This is a very soft baby like ballerina pink. This looks really good on fair to medium skin tones. This one's really light, so it creates a very like soft ballerina flushed pink look. This is really beautiful on really fair skin tone brides. This one looks really good on a lot of people who are very maybe on the Irish complexion side, who have really light skin with maybe reddish hair. This is a very soft blush for that kind of tone. This is one of my most used colors right here. This is very similar to the NARS Orgasm blush if you're familiar. This is a peachy pink undertone with a little bit of gold flecks of shimmer. So this one looks good on pretty much all medium skin tones. So if you're in the middle range, if you're more olive, or if you're more pink, this is gonna look good on both those skin tones because it has both peach and pink shades in it. So it looks really great on both. And I'll give you a swatch of these all on my hands so you can kind of see what they look like. So the next one is going to be these two right here. These are very similar in family, but they have different deeper undertones. So they both have brown undertones to them. This is more of like a dusty pink. This is more of a dusty mauve. These both give you a very warm undertone cheek. So think of like being in the desert, giving you that like kind of warm dusty bronze look, but have a little bit of color. So these are what I like to call blonzers because they're like blushes with bronzer in it. So blonzers. So those are kind of fun shades to use on more medium skin tones as well. And then we have this really bright, vibrant pink down here, which looks good on all skin tones, just depending on how you use it. So like I said, if you use a very soft, light, fluffy brush like this, you could get a very soft, light application of it, and that could look good on most fair and medium skin tones. And then if you use a fluffier, more dense brush, you're gonna get a heavier application. So that is a very beautiful blush, and I'm gonna give you a swatch of that as well. Previous clip you saw swatches of those blushes that I love from Makeup Forever. On the other side of those blushes are some highlights, a banana shade, a contour shade, and then these three blushes down here. So this one right here is a medium tone pink that looks good on a lot of different people. This one is really soft, really blendable, and it's very easy to make a big impact when you apply a lot of it. So very light application with this one because it works on so many different people. You can kind of use it on different skin tones for if you're creating more of an editorial look or a fashion show. That is a blush that looks good on so many different people. I also like to use this one on the eyes too to create a very soft, more ethereal look. So that's a really beautiful blush. This one is really a more peach shade. So this one looks good on fair skin tones and then medium skin tones if you're really tan. This will give you that really beautiful, soft, peachy pink cheek. And then the last but not least is this really beautiful, deep red shade right here. This one is really nice on more medium to deep skin tones. This applied correctly gives you a very light flush, or if you apply a lot of it, can give you that really beautiful warm reddish cheek that looks really beautiful on medium to deep skin tones. So I'll show you swatches of those in the clip next below. The Makeup Forever blushes, and this is why I love them, because they're super smooth, blendable, and they work really, really well, and they go with me everywhere. So hope that you guys like that. So now we're gonna jump on to the next blush. We're gonna talk about a couple more blushes, and then I'm actually going to talk about tools that I like to use with my blushes and how I use them. So we're gonna talk about some brushes and maybe a beauty blender on how you actually use that with blush as well. So next up is a blush that I got sent. These are really beautiful because these are very, very vibrant and rich in tone. So this is the number 3 blush from YSL. It looks really beautiful like this. It's like a tangerine orange blush. And then I have this one right here called number 8 that is a very, very vibrant pink. These are really beautiful. These are a new addition to my kit, and I can't wait to use them. They do have a little bit of micro shimmer in them, so they're really beautiful. And if you're afraid of colors like this, I'll show you how I apply something like this to keep it very, very soft in just a couple minutes. So next we're gonna go to a blush that is very, very widely popular and very known. This is the NARS Orgasm blush. It looks just like this if you're familiar. It's that pinky peach undertone with a little bit of that gold fleck shimmer. This looks good on more fair to medium skin tones. I really like this one. I carry it in my kit because it does look good on so many different people, and a lot of people are familiar with it, so I know that if they see it, they really like it and they're really familiar, and so it kind of is a good contact point for us to talk about when they see things in my kit that they're familiar with and maybe their own makeup bag. So that's a really fun one that gets used a lot, is the NARS Orgasm. So next we're gonna go on to another tried and true favorite in my kit, and that is the Mob Beauty blushes. You guys have seen me do a video on these before, but they look just like this. So these two are cream blushes. See, these are really beautiful because they are very, very creamy, blendable, smooth, and they look great under foundation or over foundation, and they are vegan and cruelty free as well. So those are some cream blushes in my kit that I love, and they are really blendable and go on so many different skin tones. So this is why I chose those two to show you guys today. So next we're going to talk about tools. Tools are one of my fun things that I love to kind of teach people about, because it can make your blush application so much easier if you are using the right tool. So let's go through some of those today. My favorite tools for blush, just in general, is going to be an angled blush brush. These angled blush brushes like this have a slight angle like this. This is a really old one from MAC that I've had for many, many years, but they come in so many different styles of brushes. You can see just like this, how it's angled, and that the taper goes towards a point this way. These are really great because they actually hug the cheek back here, and you can actually push the brush forward and allow the brush to do the work for you. So this is really great because it's really dense, and it actually pushes that product into the cheek and allows you to blend really, really effortlessly. Some people might have at home larger brushes like this. I wouldn't recommend something like this for a blush application. It's a little bit too domed and it's a little bit too wide, so you would get too much blush in an application and it'd be a lot harder to blend out. So keep that in mind if you're using a blush that's a little bit too full. Another brush that I really love that you might not pick up for blush is a dual fiber brush like this. So this one has white tips up here and then these darker tips here. This is a really great brush because the tips actually push the product in, so it gives you a feather amount, and then if you push a little bit firmer, you can actually blend in circular motions and get a very beautiful wispy blush application. So this is one of my favorite blushes for blush application, and a lot of people don't grab these because they actually think that they're maybe for foundation or something else, but this looks really great for blush or for highlighter application because it gives you a very soft amount, because the white hairs actually touch the skin first, and then the dark hairs actually give you that blendability to kind of buff and blend it into the skin. So that's another really great one. So it's super fun to look at all these amazing blushes, but how do you actually know how to wear the right one for you? So a lot of it can depend on your undertone of your skin, whether you have more golden undertones, more pink undertones, more neutral undertones. So if you need help figuring that out, I'm going to do a video on that next week, so stay tuned for that. But if you want to know how to pick the right shade for you, a lot of it can depend on your natural lip color or the lip color you choose to wear that night. So say that you tend to wear a little bit more pinkier, mauvier, or brighter shades, something a little bit more dusty rose or a little bit pinkier on the cheek is going to flatter that lip color. So I'm going to show you guys how I would pick a blush color for a client. Typically, I like to look at their undertone right on the inside of their arm and look at what they are naturally drawn to. So a lot of people are going to be naturally drawn to the more pinks and brighter pinks, but maybe they are wearing a look that's more evening, or maybe they got a little bit more color to their skin. So you want to help them choose a shade that's going to be more flattering or more flattering for you at home. So if I was looking in this skin tone range, right, for me, I'm a little bit more of a neutral golden undertone. So I would stay here in the peachy shades to give me a little bit more brightness to my face. But if you're on the fairer, more neutral tones and you have a little bit more blue to your skin, you're going to want to stick to a little bit more of these softer pinks here. So these are really beautiful because these are going to help brighten up your complexion without giving you too much dimension. If you want more of that like bronzer shade that I was talking about earlier, you're going to want to go for something like this or something here in that dusty family. So these are really great because you can kind of mix and match your own shade. You can kind of customize your own blush depending on what you're looking for, and I hope that this is going to teach you guys a little bit more about how to use it. So this is an angled blush brush from MAC. I'm going to go in with this brighter peach shade right here, and I'm just going to use the tips of the brush. I'm going to take the mirror and I'm going to apply it directly from the back of the cheek and just lightly dust it on the tops of my cheek. So for my face shape, this is going to give me a little bit more elongation to the face, but it's also going to give me a little bit more higher of a cheek because I'm placing it higher and further back on the cheekbone. So if your face shape is more angular, you're going to want to keep your face and your brush more outward, so that way you can flick the brush this way. So that way it rounds out your cheek just a little bit and makes it a little bit softer, so that way you're not creating those harsh lines like this. So we're gonna go ahead and do the other side so you guys can see what that looks like. So just that peachy shade right on the tips of the brush, lightly tap it off, right on top of the cheekbone, further back, and then placing it here. You see I'm flicking the brush outward to kind of create those soft edges and rounding the brush out. This is really nice because it's going to brighten that cheek. It's going to give you a little bit of color, but not too much, and you can always add and build. So remember that less is more. You can always start with less and build to more. But you'll see that this just gives me a little bit of that soft cheek color without being overwhelming, and it doesn't look like I applied a ton of blush. Alright, so you can see that that actually flatters my natural lip color. It just brings out the tones just a little bit, and it gives me a little bit of brightness. And that was that really pretty peach shade right here for Makeup Forever. Alright guys, so I hope that you guys learned something. I hope that you love these videos. If you did, please subscribe down below, and I'll see you guys next Makeup Artist Monday. We're going to talk about complexion and undertones, and I can't wait to do that with you guys. So please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week. Thank you for watching. Alright, bye.